The Halal Times, the voice of Ummah. We won't fight. These were the defiant shouts of thousands of ultra-Orthodox Jews as they flooded the streets of Israel, blocking major highways, storming junctions and bringing traffic to a standstill. Their target, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his government's desperate push to drag them into Israel's war machine. On Wednesday, protests erupted across central and northern Israel after several young Haredi students were arrested for evading military conscription. The response was immediate and fierce. Roads were shut down from Netanya to Tel Aviv. The ultra-Orthodox chanted against persecution, accusing the government of waging war not just on Gaza, but on their very way of life.
המדינה הישראלית הזאת כפתה אלינו לאחרונה, בשנה וחצי האחרונים, כבר כמה שנים, אבל עכשיו זה נכנס להילוך גבוה. להתגייס לצבא, בכל תוקף וכל אחד, בלי שום אפשרות להיפטר מזה. העיקר שאנחנו רוצים זה לשמירת תורה עם מצוות, ולהיכנס לצבא, צבא עיקור ההיתוך של חילוניות, ומי שנכנס שם יוצא חילוני, זה המציאות, הראש שלו הופך לישראלי כפרני. והמדינה כופה עלינו כפייה דתית להפוך לישראלים, שזה נגד התורה שלנו, נגד האמונה, ואנחנו מוכנים בשביל זה למסור את הנפש. אנחנו לא רוצים את המדינה, אנחנו רוצים העיקר להישאר יהודים.
יש לכם דקה, אני נותן לכם דקה, עוד דקה.
אני לא מתגייס לצבא, ואני אשב בכלא, כמה שצריך, כמה שאפשר, הכל רק כדי לקדש שם שמיים.
This crisis couldn't have come at a worse time for Israel. Army radio reports the military is facing a shortage of 10,000 to 12,000 soldiers. Netanyahu, who just days ago announced plans to send 60,000 troops and 20,000 reservists into Gaza to tighten the occupation, now finds himself scrambling for manpower. And ironically, he is turning to the very community that has historically rejected Zionism itself, the ultra-Orthodox Jews. Although no official numbers have been made public, Israeli security authorities have detained a number of ultra-Orthodox students who avoided the draft in recent days. Haredi publications declared Thursday to be a day of protest and work stoppage in response to what they described as the persecution of the world of Torah, according to the daily Yedioth Ahronoth. As stated earlier, the military is experiencing a shortage of soldiers, estimated at between 10,000 and 12,000, and the Haredi people's refusal to register is forcing the army to attempt every other way to replenish its numbers. Following a June 25, 2024, Supreme Court decision compelling them to enroll and banning financial support for religious schools whose pupils declined to serve, ultra-Orthodox communities have since then been protesting against military service. For decades, the Haredi community has resisted military service. To them, studying the Torah is their highest duty, not bearing arms. They fear that integration into the secular military would shatter their religious identity and dissolve their community. But their objections run even deeper, rooted in theology, history, and prophecy itself. The Haredim point to the Talmud and a teaching known as the Three Oaths. According to this doctrine, Jews are forbidden from establishing a state of their own before the time of divine redemption. Exile, they believe, was God's punishment, and only God will decide when the Jewish people are to return. Zionism, in their eyes, is not just political rebellion, but spiritual treason against the will of heaven. This is why many ultra-Orthodox Jews not only refuse to serve in the Israeli military, they openly oppose the existence of the State of Israel itself. For them, Netanyahu's demands are not just a political imposition, but a direct violation of their faith. And yet, Netanyahu presses on. Facing battlefield exhaustion and dwindling ranks, his government now seeks to conscript those who have for generations been shielded from the draft. But the resistance on Israel's own streets tells another story. Not everyone is willing to fight his war, especially not for Gaza, a land already leveled into ruins, its people starving, limbless, and forced to survive in tents. However, the situation makes one beg a question. If Gaza truly was as weak and defenseless as Israel claims, why does Netanyahu need tens of thousands of fresh soldiers? Why does he need to pressure even the most religious, apolitical sectors of society to pick up arms? The answer lies not in Gaza's weakness, but in its strength. Despite starvation, amputations, and endless airstrikes, the Gazans have not been broken. The coming hours are critical. On one side, Netanyahu's desperate regime is pushing for total war. On the other, his own people shouting back, "We won't fight." The population in Gaza, despite being under siege, remains resolute. The question is no longer just about military service. It is about the very future of Israel itself. That's all for today. If you found the video informative, please like it and subscribe to the channel. Jazakum Allahu khairan.